that and that are about to go in there. So last year, this here was tomatoes. Right. You may recall, and this is what that looked like.
Coming along just fine.
This one here, this side here was basically fallow. Didn't do anything for a year except grow horsetail, which is I got a horsetail problem. This here is horsetail. And it's because the previous owners got some rock. You know this, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, this stuff here. They wanted to basically put drainage all the way around the greenhouse. I get it. But when they did that, they brought wild horse tail in here. Equisetum arvense, I think is the Latin name for it. And it just took over everything, and it's a constant struggle. But if you got a cure for that, let me know. I don't know if I need to change the pH or what. And this here is just sawmilling material. And I put that over top of the soil, as you see on this side, just to help keep weeds down, germinants and whatnot. And it seems to help with a little bit of erosion too when you got your corridors dug into your in your garden for watering, to avoid exposing the roots of the plants that you're trying to water. Other than using a misting system, I don't know of any other better way of getting water in deep saturation of water into the ground so those roots can lift it. The roots on these tomato plants though weren't terribly deep, so I'm not entirely sure how important that is, but that's sitting in the top of the mound. You see that? That's sitting in the top of the mound, and plant. So it was in about this deep, and the mound kind of did this around it, right? So I mean, you got your deep trench here on either side, and this is what you fill up with water, and it would just saturate down. And these roots, just by you know, fine root tips, is actually drawing water up. Some of the tap roots were fairly deep, so I figure I'll do it the same way. I'm not sure if I'm going to do tomatoes in the garden this year. No, we grew a bunch of them, and they all went off pretty fast, and we ate a lot of tomatoes for a very short period of time. But anyway, we're going to put this into the garden, and what a weird video to make, eh? Anyway, here we go. Sound good. We'll eventually tunnel this out and then push her down. These aren't very good composters. I'm not sure I would ever buy something like this. We kind of inherited this from the previous owners of the property. So we've been using it, but I'm not sure that I'd ever consider using it. So here we go. This one is emptied. I've always keep a small little bit at the bottom, you know, because you want to rebuild that population of microorganisms that are going to break down your bloody dogs. These yappy dogs over there. It's driving me nuts. Anyway, so that's pretty much done. Highly decomposed vegetable matter. It's, you know, it's basically been from the fall, actually throughout the summer, over the winter, and it's obviously been working. Having a black container to put it in is obviously pretty important. You can see all the air holes in there. Having aeration all the way around has obviously helped. This one over here is basically your conventional garbage can with holes drilled into it for aeration, like this. See the holes? That works too. However, I would highly recommend, I mean, we try to recycle, right? You try to recycle what you got. However, I would recommend that you use a black garbage can for this purpose, just getting it nice and hot, helping to keep it warm and during colder periods of weather. really will help to break down the matter. Like for example, these old corn cobs that you see here. Like there's a lot more earthworm activity in the green one. I'm not sure why, as you can see that little guy right there. But these are all going in the, we're going to put it in anyway. All kinds of life in here, little microorganisms. So this is going to go in there, and I'll cap this off. However, I suppose what you could do is spray paint the outside so it helps to break things down. Here's another one, didn't get to using it. Some other ones. These work well, however, I recommend that you be careful with them because they're quite fragile, and the plastic does get brittle with age, and that's, you don't want them, you know, these, I don't know how much these cost, but they're fairly old now. Anyway, let's see how much material we got out of these two bins. And by the way, you know, these compostable bags that people use inside their house, you know, the little bins, this is not really very compostable in my opinion. You know, it's got all the nature symbols on it. Well, it's still kind of a plastic bag. Don't use this, because trying to get your compost out of these friggin' bags is a pain in the butt. Well, you can use them if you want. They probably will break down, but not soon enough. So that's what we got. You know, I think I'd like to have a bit more, maybe twice this much. But you know, it's better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. Just those two bins. There's all this little microorganisms from your coffee grinds to your, you know, your unwanted pieces of fruit and vegetation. You know, it's gonna sit there and decompose over the winter, and then you can dig it into your soil and eat it all over again eventually. I'm going to bring my table in here, my tray, and I'm going to start germinating seed. It's April has just started, 2018, and so we still have snow in the ground over here right now, right? But I can at least start this process, the conditioning of the soil and getting it ready for a plant. I don't even know what I'm going to grow in here this year. You got any suggestions? I did tomatoes last year, so I don't want to really grow tomatoes in here at the same time. They get a little bit too tall, and most of my sun comes from this side, so if I do tomatoes, I'll probably do them on this side, which has been fallow for a year. And I'll have some more lower shrubs here, because they're not going to be shading out the tomatoes. And we'll do it that way, maybe. At least, maybe half of this row will be tomatoes, I don't know yet. Give me your suggestions, what would you grow? That's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. Weird video for me, I know, but there's see, I've always considered the Rifle Chair channel to be not really a gun channel. It's my channel. It's the me channel, and this is the stuff I find interesting. This is the stuff I'll do, and so the name maybe is a little bit misleading because it says rifle in the name, right? So, but this is my channel. Of which musketry and rifles are one of the subjects that I like to talk about. Well, it's incredible how 24 hours can change your plans. Incredible. Anyway, these areas that I've dug up here, I'm just gonna put some dolomite lime into the soil and spread it through there, and hopefully that'll help to take care of the horsetail problem. I probably shouldn't have been digging it up like I did, but I just needed to get it done. and we'll just run defense when it comes to the horsetail issue. And if I have to decrease the moisture content in these mounds in order to help manage the horsetail, then I'll do that.